The rise of Napoleon Bonaparte, from unknown soldier to master of Europe in the final years of the 18th century. Europe trembled under the storms of revolution. Kings were overthrown, borders redrawn, and the old order shattered. Out of this chaos emerged a man whose name would echo across history, Napoleon Bonaparte. But Napoleon didn't start as an emperor or even as a noble. He was born on the remote island of Corsica, a minor noble in a family of limited means. How did this outsider rise to become the most powerful man in Europe? Let's dive into his incredible journey. A Corsican, upstart Napoleon was born in 1769, just after France seized Corsica from the Republic of Genoa. His family, though minor nobles, were poor. Young Napoleon spoke Corsican as his first language and only learned French later, and with a heavy accent that he never lost. At age 9, he was sent to military school in mainland France. There, Napoleon was a misfit, mocked for his accent, his small stature, and his outsider status. But what he lacked in social charm, he made up for in Britain. He devoured books on history, strategy, and mathematics, showing early signs of the tactical genius that would later define his career. The revolution opens the door in 1789. The French Revolution exploded. The monarchy was toppled, the aristocracy destroyed, and France plunged into chaos. While many nobles fled, Napoleon saw opportunity. As a young artillery officer, he aligned himself with revolutionary ideals and quickly proved his worth. His big break came in 1793, during the Siege of Toulon, when he helped retake the city from royalist forces. His reward, promotion to brigadier general at just 24 years old. But success came with danger. In the revolutionary era, political winds shifted fast. Napoleon was briefly arrested during the Reign of Terror, only to escape execution thanks to political connections. He was hungry for another chance to prove himself. The whiff of grapeshot that chance came in 1795, when royalists in Paris rose up against the revolutionary government. Napoleon was ordered to defend the capital. He responded with brutal efficiency, ordering his cannons loaded with grapeshot, basically giant shotgun blasts, and mowing down the insurgents. This ruthless suppression became known as the whiff of grapeshot, and it saved the government. It also made Napoleon famous. He was promoted again and given command of the French army of Italy, a ragtag, poorly supplied force seen as little more than a holding unit. Napoleon was about to change that. The Italian campaign. A star is born in 1796. Napoleon led his army into Italy and into legend. He unleashed a series of dazzling victories against Austrian and Piedmontese forces, outmaneuvering larger armies with speed, surprise, and boldness. He didn't just win battles, he won hearts. Soldiers adored him for sharing their hardships, eating their rations, and speaking directly to them. The public back home adored him for sending back reports filled with glory and triumph. By the time Napoleon returned to France in 1797, he was a national hero. Europe's old powers were nervous, and back in Paris, politicians were even more nervous. This young general was becoming too popular. Egypt and the birth of a myth to get Napoleon out of Paris and hopefully into a quagmire. The government sent him to Egypt in 1798. The mission: disrupt British trade routes and expand French influence. The campaign was mixed. Napoleon won a stunning victory at the Battle of the Pyramids, but saw his fleet destroyed at the Battle of the Nile by Admiral Nelson. But here's where Napoleon's genius shone. Even in failure, he spun the story. He surrounded himself with scientists and artists, framing the expedition as a grand civilizational mission. This is when the modern image of Napoleon, the military genius, the enlightened leader, the man of destiny, really took shape. The coup of 18 Brumaire while Napoleon was away. Things back home deteriorated. By 1799, France's revolutionary government, known as the Directory, was corrupt, unpopular, and struggling to survive. Napoleon saw his chance. He rushed back to France, rallied political allies, and on Brumaire, staged a coup d'etat, using a mix of military force, political pressure, and outright deception. He overthrew the Directory. The result was the Consulate, a new government with Napoleon as First Consul, effectively the leader of France. Though it still claimed to be a republic, real power now rested with one man. Consolidating power, Napoleon moved fast to secure his hold. He reformed the tax system, stabilized the economy, rebuilt the legal system, and signed the Concordat with the Catholic Church, restoring religious peace. He also knew how to win over the public. In 1802, he held a referendum and was made consul for life. By now, it was clear. France was no longer a revolution. It was a personal regime. From First Consul to Emperor in 1804, Napoleon made his most audacious move yet. He crowned himself Emperor of the French, literally placing the crown on his own head in a dramatic ceremony at night. It was a symbolic break from the past. Napoleon wasn't just another king in the old mold. He was a self-made emperor, a man who had risen not by bloodline, but by merit, ambition, and genius. The people cheered. The monarchs of Europe trembled, and Napoleon prepared to take his empire far beyond France's borders. The rise of Napoleon Bonaparte was no accident. It was the result of a rare combination of timing, talent, and personality. He was a military genius, yes, but also a master politician, a media manipulator, and a man uniquely suited to the chaos of post-revolutionary France. Where others saw disorder, Napoleon saw opportunity. By 1804, he had gone from obscure Corsican outsider to Emperor of the French, and he was just getting started. The wars, the triumphs, the disasters, and the ultimate fall was still to come. But that is another story.